Hello. This week has been Manifesto Week in the UK general elections, when all the main parties set out their plans to improve, destroy, delete as appropriate the country. So let's see what they've all had to say. First out of the gate were the Lib Dems, who took a break from their tour of the UK's national theme parks to visit North London and unveil their manifesto. The headline being their desire to eventually rejoin the EU single market. But then, with that dull stuff out of the way, it was back off to Fort Park to ride the teacups. Then unelected leader of the Reform Party Nigel Farage, along with his little bitch Richard Tice, unveiled reforms back of a fag packet economic policy. Tuesday saw the launch of the Conservative Manifesto. And what was Sunak promising? You get a tax cut, and you get a tax cut. Who needs public services? Everyone gets a tax cut. Anyway, it turns out there's this place called Scotland. Anyway, all the Scottish party leaders were having a debate this week. It was a bit weird because one of them, Douglas Ross, the leader of the Scottish Conservatives, has already said he's resigning. The main thrust of the argument being John Swinney of the SNP wants independence for Scotland, but the others don't agree with him. On Wednesday, there was an unsavoury incident when unelected leader of the Reform Party, Nigel Farage, while campaigning in Barnsley, had objects hurled at him by a member of the public. Seriously, cut that shit out. Yeah, the milkshake was funny, but just don't do it, okay? It's not big, it's not clever. But now a truly heartbreaking story. As Prime Minister Rishi Sunak revealed the hardship he had to go through as a child. It was so bad they couldn't even have a Sky TV subscription. You food bank users, you don't know how lucky you have it. The Green Party launched their manifesto. Yeah, that's something that happened. Then it was off to Sky, where Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak face questions from both Beth Rigby and members of the public. Keir Starmer did little to disprove the notion he's effectively a political robot, and he let us know his dad was a tool maker, which must have come in handy for the maintenance. But amazingly, he still performed better than Rishi Sunak, who you would have thought would have been excited to finally get to see what Sky was like. But instead, he looked like he'd rather be anywhere but Grimsby. Which I guess you can't really blame him for. Oh, I've just lost Grimsby. But I've picked up Hull. Swings and roundabouts, this politics game. Thursday saw the most boring manifesto launch in the history of boring manifesto launches, as Keir Starmer revealed Labour's manifesto, obviously. It didn't promise a great deal, to be honest, but maybe that's okay. Maybe Starmer is onto something. Maybe people are sick of politicians promising them the earth. And maybe this more dour, realist approach is the correct one. Labour aren't promising you everything, but they say they'll give you something. Maybe. Plaid Cymru Cymru? Played? The Welsh Party, they launched their manifesto, and they're looking for more devolved powers to the Welsh government. And it was nice to see Lee Evans back on our screens. Rishi Sunak had just enough time to make a tit of himself again at the G7 summit before it was over to ITV for the seven-way debate, which was a rerun of the same debate with all the same people that had happened on the BBC just 6 days previously. Although, in fairness, Julia Etch-a-Sketch did have enough sense to separate Penny Mordaunt and Angela Rayner this time. Oh, but Penny Mordaunt had an absolute nightmare. Angela Rayner was laughing at her, unelected leader of the Reform Party Nigel Farage was laughing at her, everyone was laughing at her. Her desperate, unhinged performance just blew any hopes she had of becoming the next Conservative leader. Friday was a much quieter day. The Conservatives continued to say that Labour are going to be increasing taxes without being able to point to anywhere that Labour have said they're going to be increasing taxes. Which is interesting if you think about it, because by the same token, Labour could claim that the Conservatives are going to put a tax on breathing air. Just because they haven't said it and it's not in their manifesto, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, apparently. Unelected leader of the Reform Party, Nigel Farage, claimed they are now the opposition because there was one opinion poll that put them 1 point ahead of the Conservatives, and even then that may not translate to many, if any, seats at the actual election. But now he's demanding he get put into a TV debate with Sunak and Starmer. Just because. And Stephen Flynn of the SNP went off to the first game of the Euros to watch Scotland take on Germany. Time to make history, he said. And they did. The biggest defeat in the opening game of a European Championship ever. Sorry, Scots. So anyway, that's been my summary of this week's main election events. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe. Help an angel get its wings by hitting the notification bell, and if there's someone you don't like, maybe you could share this video with them. Until next time.